Well, as you can imagine, now that Ebola has hit the Big Apple, social media has run amok. New Yorkers and others have been taking to Twitter to make jokes and even criticize the Ebola victim, Dr. Craig Spencer, for going out and about in the city, despite reportedly feeling unwell. To discuss what's being said and what's perhaps being a little overhyped, I was joined earlier by RT producer Tyrell Ventura, and I first asked him about what we've been seeing lately.
It's interesting, since the start of, the time when Eric Duncan back in Texas was diagnosed with Ebola, you saw the kind of tweets about Ebola jump from about 100,000 to 150,000 before that. And then once he was diagnosed, it was like 200,000 a day. The tweets out of New York are particularly interesting because they range from, again, spreading a lot of falsehoods, in the kind of telephone game that is Twitter and social media. One of the tweeters wrote, New York ER doc has Ebola. It's not airborne, my ass, CDC. Another one, is blaming Obama, in his speech when he talked about Ebola being the start. He said, Obama, Ebola is a trial run for a deadlier airborne disease. So there's a lot of conspiracy theories out there swirling around social media. But New York's also responded in a humorous fashion, too. One of my favorites was with the New York Jets. A Twitter person wrote, Ebola has me so freaked out that I'm heading to a Jets game because no one catches anything there.
There you go, some levity.
Yeah, and a lot of levity out there. I mean, they also said, being that the doctor was at the Williamsburg district, had equated it to hipsters, with another tweeter saying, all hipsters in Brooklyn can brag that they got Ebola before everyone else. But you're right, it also has, had a lot of drop, it also been very venomous as well. In fact, Donald Trump tweeted earlier that the Ebola doctor who just flew from New York to West Africa and went on the subway, bowling and dining is a very selfish man. He should have known. And how is he supposed to know?
Didn't he have another tweet where he called for Obama to
Yes, he did, to resign completely.
Because of this particular
So
man.
you have a lot of people jumping on this, and Twitterverse is going, absolutely crazy. I mean, since the first 2 weeks of October when it started, there was 2.2 million Ebola tweets with the hashtag
That's
Ebola.
Incredible. It does seem to be the most prevalent water cooler conversation, I'm sure, at every workplace. Okay, well, there is a downside to the social media frenzy because there are a lot of, facts, not facts. Information is flying all around social media. So what have we seen on that front? Have we seen, any misinterpretations?
Well, yes. I mean,
overhype?
I think that where that kind of overhype and misinterpretation comes from a lot of different sources. I mean, when you have, pundits like George Will or congressmen like Peter King, trying to continue to spout this, that Ebola could mutate and be airborne right away, even though the CDC has directly said that there's a very slim chance that it could do that, if any, whatsoever. It doesn't work like that. And that feeds the Twitterverse, which then, like I said, acts like a telephone, acts like the old game telephone. One person says one thing, and by the time it gets all the way back around, so much has been added to it that it gets crazy. And then that gets dangerous because that's what panics people. And so you have to be careful that with situations like this to not just trust everything you see on Twitter. There's also news, fake news sites just to get clicks will put out like, 10,000 people could be, in risk of Ebola because the guy was on the subway, even though it's completely fake, but you see the headline on Facebook and you think it might be real. So you have to be diligent.
Indeed, lots and lots of hysteria out there. All right, RT producer Tyrell Ventura, thanks for coming on and breaking it all down for us.
Thank you.